Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 here on the back of our 2020 Tesla Model Y. Now guys, it's going to be a very nice way of carrying your bikes to your destination. Now the Sherpa, of course, does look very good for itself. Kuat, always very conscious of that style. Not only style are you getting, though, you are getting great capabilities with this bike rack. So it's going to be a very nice stable platform, and with a 40-pound weight capacity per bike, you're going to have no trouble getting most of the bikes you need to where you want to go. Now, if you are looking to go ahead and start upgrading, getting yourself a 60-pound weight capacity limit, that might allow you to take your e-bikes, your bigger bikes with no trouble at all. Highly recommend taking a look at the Kuat NV 2.0. It's basically the same bike, a little bit longer, a little bit beefier, and you got a couple other features to boot with it. Now, if you don't really quite like all the little bells and whistles on the Kuat NV 2.0, you could look at the Kuat NV Base as well. Pretty much the same bike rack as well with that one, just a few less little features, but nothing too crazy. But again, though, the Sherpa here, still a very nice little bike rack, especially if you're just looking for something lightweight for your smaller bikes, not having those big beefy guys, and you just really need something to go ahead, get your road bike or even your mountain bike to wherever you want to go. So you guys are seeing here today, we do have a front tire hold on this as well. That's going to allow us to easily carry any kind of carbon frame bike with no issue because we don't have any frame contact. Therefore, there's no going to be warping or deteriorating of that carbon frame. And if you have any women's bikes, step-through bikes, or kids' bikes, sometimes with some other frame mount designs, they have a little bit of issue with that horizontal purchase. What's nice about that, we don't have to worry about that. All we have to do, have one good front wheel, we'll have an easy time getting our bikes to where we want to go. Taking a look at the platform itself here, you can see we have that front tire cradle here as well. Flips right out, allows it to sit right there in that groove. You have that 18C standard groove, of course, in the middle, allowing yourself to hang right there, which is great. And one thing I like about this too, it kind of acts like a wheel chock as well. So kind of see ourselves here on the other side. We don't have the longest platform here, right? Well, that's kind of the Sherpa's name of the game, right? It's right there in that lightweight middle option, but you still have this little guy here in the back that can oscillate here. What's nice about that, even if you have a longer bike, we have a couple guys here at the shop, sometimes, you know, even when they throw it up on here, it does hang off quite a bit, but what's kind of cool is you do have that front tire hold there that's going to go ahead and hold it on there. Now, I wouldn't put anything that's obviously not making contact with this guy, so your wheelbase is going to be pretty limited. Just to give you guys that really quick, our platform is only about 40 inches long, so I think your tire width is going to, or I'm sorry, your wheel length there is definitely going to have to be kind of within those limits. But even if you are hanging a little bit, right, if you have more than half of that wheel kind of hanging off, I think you're still going to be kind of okay as long as you are watching it. We don't want all that weight shifting, of course, so definitely something to kind of look out for. But nice that we have a little bit of leeway with that front shock. Now in the front here too, you are seeing a little locking core. You do have an included cable lock that comes with it. Makes it really easy to run it through both our bikes and plug it in right here. I like that it's in the front, not on the back or the side. Makes it really, really easy to access, which is great. Well, one awesome thing about this as well, guys, you do have a little bit of cargo there in the back of the Tesla to go ahead and access, and we can still do that. Now, right now, you guys can see if we tried to open it, we'd be hanging up on our handlebars, right? Well, lucky for us, we can go ahead and actually tilt this down. I have a little lever right here. All I gotta do, pull that towards me. That allows me to drop this guy just like so. Then I come up to the back of my Tesla here, pop up in the back of my hatch, and now I can get my coolers, helmets, anything I might need from the inside. Can be a nice little spot too to come and kind of change right here. You can put your feet up on here, get a nice little tie-in action with those shoes of choice, whichever you guys might be packing with you. And also just a nice little place to hang out and relax before or after your ride. So nice that we have that access. Great for gas stations too, you know. We're not going to be worried about having to take our bikes off for those quick, easy jaunts, which is great for ourselves. And again, with that cable lock, everything's going to be nice and secured. We're not going to have any issues, which is awesome. Well, to get the bike off doesn't take too much time at all. I'm going to go ahead and start in the back here. We do have a little plastic stripping here. To release that, all we got to do, press on that lever like so. That allows me to take this strip off. On the inside too, you do have a little bit of matting here, which is kind of nice. Protect that wheel rim, of course. Keep them looking good for the years to come. But that does bring me to my last hold on my bike. I want to make sure I grab it. Don't want that tilting into our vehicle or ourselves. And then we simply have to press up or press in on that button, bring our arm up just like so, and then off to the side. And that allows me to quickly take my bike off and get ready to ride. Now mounting it, just as simple as what I just did, guys. The only thing I'd watch out for is going to be the little strip in the back, but as you guys can kind of see, it does kind of hang there. It becomes really easy to dip your wheel down, catch it, set it right in place, and therefore you have no trouble at all getting it nice and secure, which is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of condense this a little bit. give ourselves this nice little look for ourselves, which is great. Now, with any hitch mounted accessory though, you are going to be adding a little bit of length to your vehicle. Now, the Tesla Model Y, not the longest one out there, but let's go ahead and see exactly what we're working with. From the rear of our bumper here today to the very end of our carrier, looks like that's going to be putting us right under 30 inches, so about 29 3/4 of an inch to the very end of our post there, guys. So definitely not the longest carrier I've seen out there, especially for only a 2 bike. However, we do have a way of quickly shortening that down to help us get in the garage. Now, before we do that though, we do want to go ahead and check our clearance level in this position, because we don't want to make any contact with the ground. And as those front wheels go up, the back will go down. And as you guys can see here, we are right at 21 3/4 of an inch to the very end of our arm here, which is great. So I don't think we're going to have too much issue here. You can see our inner assembly here gives us a nice rise for our platform, which is going to be great. If we do have any contact, I don't think we will. We are pretty well up and out of the way. I would just be very conscious if you guys are approaching a very steep incline. Just keep in mind, you do have a hitch-mounted accessory. As those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will that hitch-mounted accessory for ourselves. But again, we can go ahead and bring this guy back up pretty quickly. To do so, again, I'm going to come right back to that lever, and instead of going down, I'm going to bring it right up into position here. What's awesome about this guy, very little movement here. You guys can see that's about all you'd have. And with natural road shake as well, I doubt we're going to feel it. Definitely not going to hear it. And one thing that's really cool, you might be worried, are these arms going to be hitting me? Well, they have a very good resistance. That takes me quite a lot to actually move it. And also with just natural road shake, you're never going to have that direct force going into your arms. So like that they have that resistance. That way we're not having them making contact with our vehicle. Now, if they were to, we do have rubber here as well. So even then, we're not going to have any hard points of contact. But again, like I said, we'll never have that happen. It's just nice that they had that little rubber on the top to make sure we don't have any issue. Now, moving our way down to the inside here, we can go actually ahead and see how much space we shaved down. So I'm going to go ahead and go from the rear of our bumper here today to the very end now. Is going to be putting us right at 12 1/4 of an inch. So shorten that down to about a foot is great. Now we should be able to pull this in the garage with no issue, or at least give ourselves a lot more maneuverability when we want to park it. And that's one thing I like about the Sherpa. You can see it sits very nicely here on the Tesla, even folded up. It doesn't take up too much room. Now, if you start comparing it to the NV, I'm thinking the NV is going to come out to the side, which isn't the worst, right? We're not exceeding the side of our vehicle. But I do like how this guy looks. Still allows us to have that full view of the Tesla, and of course, not impacting with our taillights. Moving our way down to the inside though, now you can see we do have ourselves a 2-inch hitch here today, allowing ourselves to utilize our 2-inch hitch receiver. On the inside of that, you just have a little alignment pin with some locking cores, and those will be key to the locking cores that are on our platform, which is great for ourselves. Moving our way to the outside here, though, you can see this is actually our anti-rattle device. This little guy right here is pretty awesome. It tightens the cam on the inside of our shank, bringing us all in line to one system, making for a nicer, smoother ride. As you guys are going to see, as I shake this, it's actually shaking the entirety of the Tesla. And that's awesome, right? Because we're not having any of that shake in that play. That's really going to reduce the road shake and just be nicer for ourselves as we drive. Of course, our bike rack, but especially our bikes. That way they have a nice stable platform. On the inside of that too, you are seeing just a little bit of an Allen wrench port, what becomes great for that, really tightening that down when you want to go ahead and take yourself on a longer road trip. That way you're not having to check it every 50 miles or so. You will know it's nice and secure, so we can really give it a nice crank down, which is great. And the obvious advantage of this too, it's on the outside. You can kind of see already that with our hitch here today on the Tesla, a little hard to get to, right? So it's kind of nice that this is on the inside. I don't have to have a ratchet with me. I'm only getting 1/4 of a turn sometimes with those. So this way I can just stand up even, tighten it down, and know that I'm nice and secure in no time, which is awesome. Well, again, the Sherpa looks awesome here, even in this position. You can really see the style coming through. But like I said, the capabilities of it is awesome as well. There's a reason people keep coming back to them, and there's a reason they're one of the more premium bike rack carriers out there. As you know, you are getting exactly what you pay for, right? It's just really easy system to use. Like I said, the only thing I could see being more advantageous is if you want that higher weight capacity rating. And again, you can go ahead and just look right at the Kuat NV or the NV Base. Pretty much the same guy, got the same look, awesome little features, and just a few more to boot, as well as that 20 pounds extra weight capacity for your bikes. The only thing to look out for here too is going to be our backup camera. I think in this position, our arms are going to be in the way. And when you have 2 bikes on there, guys, you're going to lose a lot of that visibility. And unfortunately, that's something that's going to happen with almost any bike out there. Now, the one thing you could look at is maybe like a single bike carrier might give you a little bit more room. Maybe like the Kuat Transfer if you're really worried about that backup camera. But again, guys, we still have all this viewing out of the back of our window, so I think we're going to be in I don't think we're going to be in a bad spot. It's simply something to keep in mind, though. You are going to lose just a little bit of it. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0. Now, one last thing I will say, though, guys. Sorry to keep stopping you. You guys can get this in different colors, too. If you're not liking the gunmetal gray, it might not look the best against the white. There actually is the Sherpa in the pearl and the black as well, so you guys can actually go ahead and get that accessorized to how you want to look on your Model Y. Well, guys, I think that about does it finally for our look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 here on the back of our 2020 Tesla Model Y. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action, and this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway. So we can see here how the bike rack moves with our truck.